Hello and welcome to Did You Know Gaming Extra. Today we're collaborating with SEGA to make a video celebrating the release of SEGA Mega Drive and Genesis Classics, now available on the Nintendo Switch both digitally and physically. So we thought we'd show you some fun bits of trivia from some of our favourite Genesis classics. A character's final name isn't always what was originally planned. There are many reasons for this, but it's often because a more fitting name is decided during development after a team has fleshed out the character. For Streets of Rage, the iconic characters of Axel, Adam and Blaze didn't just have different names, but also different visual designs. Axel was initially designed as a karate master from Chicago, similar in appearance to Chuck Norris, named God Hand. As the title entered production, his name was changed into Hawk, before finally landing on Axel Stone. Adam Hunter was initially conceived as a martial arts expert from London named Blackbird. He was then renamed Wolf during development, before the team settled on Adam. And lastly, Pink Typhoon was the name of an adept kung fu master from Hong Kong. This character would eventually become Blaze, continuing to use a name based on an element, with Typhoon being water and Blaze being fire. The name of the game itself also changed during its development, with the original working title being D-SWAT. This title was never revealed outside of the development team, but a trace of the setting still remains in the final Streets of Rage release. The original name was a reference to the cyber police force found in the earlier Sega release, E-SWAT. The design of the police car from E-SWAT is still used for the car which rescues the character at the end of Streets of Rage. Golden Axe had its name changed 3 times during the development of the original arcade version. At first, the team named it Battle Axe, a direct translation of the original Japanese title, Senpu. But this name was already licensed by another company, and thus they couldn't use it for the game. The studio then suggested the name Broad Axe, as it was very close to the original Battle Axe name, which they considered to be very cool. The title had no licensing issues, so it was believed it would be used. However, just before development finished, one of the heads at SEGA US pushed for the name Golden Axe, as the dwarf, Gilead Thunderhead's axe looked gold in-game. The Golden Axe name has no relation to the original Japanese title, so the team was reluctant to make the change. But with the name becoming a key point of discussion within the US branch of SEGA, the Japanese team got on board. To reflect this change in name, they also changed Death Adder's axe from silver to gold, also adjusting the story to reflect this. However, based on the game's historic success, we've also been told that the owners of the IP are now grateful for these changes. The origin of ToeJam and Earl's names also has a story to it. There are rumours floating around that the titular characters got their name from a miscommunication over the phone during development. However, game designer Greg Johnson revealed to Did You Know Gaming the true tale behind the conception of the Funkadelic duo. The real story is actually that ToeJam and Earl first appeared in a dream I had. I woke up with the idea of 2 homeboy aliens from the hood introducing themselves. This is true. I got up and I scribbled down the conversation between the two of them. Yo, what's up? This is ToeJam and this is my homeboy, Big Earl. We're aliens from outer space. Say what's up, Earl. Yo, what's up? The next day I scribbled a little drawing of them onto a napkin. They didn't really change much from that first drawing. A little later, I told Mark about this when we were on a hike on Mount Tam, in Marin country, and he loved the idea, and we started riffing on what Earth would look like to a couple of very cool funky aliens, and the whole satire thing started to grow. While this story has been confirmed, some mysteries still remain in classic SEGA games. In Beyond Oasis, known as Story of Thor outside of the US, there is a very slim chance of a mysterious death cry occurring. Instead of the usual scream of anguish, the player will instead hear what sounds like a woman moaning. It took us 134 attempts to trigger this sound for the video. You're welcome. The sound is also present in the game's sound test menu. The Genesis Sega splash screen was perhaps one of, if not the most iconic of its era. The startup chant, which first played at the beginning of Sonic the Hedgehog, took up a whopping 1/8 of the entire game cartridge's memory. The decision to include this was made near the end of the game's development, and the iconic chant replaced a previous idea, which was grandiose but simply not possible at the time. Specifically, an animated sound test menu, which would have included members of Sonic's band, like Vector the Crocodile. Plenty of developers took the opportunity to have some fun with this boot sequence. In the case of Vectorman, it's possible for the player to take control of the titular character on this screen. If they proceed to shoot at the top right corner of the screen, a hidden TV can be destroyed. This then releases an orb power-up which, when fired, causes the background to stop moving and the light of the central SEGA logo to go out. This video was sponsored by Sega and the Genesis and Mega Drive classics on Switch. All of the games we mentioned are available in the collection and many more. For more information, check out the link in the description below and get yourself back into some of these absolute classic gems. Don't forget to throw the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't yet, but you want to get all of the freshest trivia delivered straight to your subscription box. That said, you should also hit the little bell icon so that the videos aren't actually sent to your subscription box, because that's how YouTube is. Have a good day.